Mr. Deputy Speaker, what has been happening at the Grace Hospital in recent weeks and months is one of the most serious crises that I have seen in the 43 years that I have worked either in healthcare or as a politician in Manitoba. It is one of the three major acute care centers in Winnipeg, one of the major acute care centers in our province. To have 45 doctors come forward and say, we cannot emphasize enough that patient safety remains severely compromised at the Grace Hospital because of the current inadequate response by this government. There has been an increase in baseline safety concerns and a rise in critical incident reports. The situation has become so severe that some of our section members no longer feel comfortable working at Grace Hospital, recognizing the lack of patient safety. And when the president of Doctors Manitoba comes forward and says, you get to a point where you express your concerns over and over again, verbally, in writing, and don't get a response, and you're not sure why. This has now gone on for a few months for them and in other areas of the system, and you're left wondering what else you can do. There are certainly doctors and nurses who are doing incredible positive things at the Grace Hospital. But my impression is that there are also doctors and nurses who have been working too long and too hard, and the stress and the situation at Grace Hospital has just become completely intolerable. It is true that under the NDP, there were major problems, that Grace had an extremely long wait time, one of the longest in Western Canada. But the PCs have had time to correct this situation, and they have not done so. And in fact, the situation is worse today because we are facing a situation where care is compromised at a whole hospital. We should have heard from the government an apology to those who have experienced this crisis situation and have had bad experiences, but we haven't had it. There should have been a recognition that there is a major issue here that hasn't been attended to, that needs to be. Yesterday, in response to a question for the MLA for St. Boniface, the health minister's response fell far short of what was needed. I talked this morning to Heather Stewart, who had what she described as an absolutely horrible experience 3 times in the Grace emergency room. And 3 times she went there to receive help for the excruciating pain she was experiencing, and 3 times, after having very bad experiences in the emergency room, she went away without having any help for her pain, the fundamental reason that she had come there. The Progressive Conservative Party, sadly, has created conditions where bad things happen. And sadly, bad things are happening at the Grace Hospital with large numbers of staff vacancies, with inadequate attention to patient safety, and a situation which is not just about money, it is about what is happening in the hospital and how you change things and improve things in terms of how people are able to work on the front lines. I suspect that part of this is the fact that the control over much of the situation at Grace Hospital has been put in the hands of Shared Health, I am sure that if Grace Hospital was still run by the Salvation Army, that you would have never seen a situation like this. It speaks to the importance of having local decision-making, local involvement. It speaks to what has happened after years and years of governments which have not done what we need in terms of improving healthcare in our province. I hope the government will step forward with a recognition of the problem and an apology to those who have suffered so much. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.